posting on schedule? What kind of place do you think this is, Mr. Bond? I don't know where that came from. Hey everybody, it's Cassette Story time. Last week we had Anthrax and Skid Row off the old cassette case. We're almost through the first side of the first 60 case. It's hard to believe. But yeah, doing 2 of these a week, certainly zipping it along a little further. Today's cassette is a big one from a big band, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with them. It's time for Ride the Lightning from Metallica. Now, a lot of people, old school Metallica fans, ooh, it's Digilog, digital analog. That was, I guess, fancy at the time. So yeah, Ride the Lightning, their second album. Was this their second or their third? It's their second. It's their second. Master Puppets was their third. That's my favorite, but this is a close second. These two were pretty good for me. Yeah. I bought this at an Alco. Remember Alco? Alco Duckwall stores? They were like a discount chain, kind of like Pomida. Pomida bought them, and then Pomida got bought by Shopko. Then Shopko sold off Alco, but then Shopko went out of business. But before that, Alco went out of business. Unless your name ends in Mart or Get, it has not been a good time for the... Actually, even if your name ends in Mart, sorry Kmart, but yeah, times are tough for the discount retailers that aren't Walmart or Target. But anyway, yeah, I got this at an Alco in Webster, South Dakota, and you might be wondering, how in the world do you remember where you bought a particular cassette tape, no matter how good it is? And it is a good one. Well, at the time, I was dating a girl in the city of Waubay. Now, I grew up in a small town called Veblen. Waubay was about a good hour away, and this is my first real girlfriend, and she was a big Metallica fan. In fact, I was in the process of securing tickets for a Metallica show in Fargo, which was actually my first rock concert, an evening with Metallica in 1992 with no opening act. They played for like 3 hours. It was amazing. But yeah, so Metallica. I bought this at Alco because I'd just gotten into Master of Puppets a little more, and the Black Album, of course. And I'm like, I really should be, getting more into their catalog. So I stopped at Alco, and I bought this. And my cassette situation in my car at the time, I had a 1981 Caprice that did not have a cassette deck. What I had, this is so kind of getaway white trash for the time, but I did not have the skills to put in a cassette deck. What I had, and I am not making this up, I had in the cigarette lighter, I had one of those adapters plugged into a Walkman, and the Walkman was plugged into 2 battery-powered desk speakers, which I had positioned on either side of my dash, right under the windows, so it wasn't obstructing my view so I wouldn't get pulled over. That was my setup in my car to listen to cassette tapes. I am deadly serious right now. That was my setup for listening to this cassette for the first time. It was on a Walkman. I think it was a Panasonic Walkman. I think I still have that one. Is it the Walkman I have that on? It actually might be this one. I don't know if this still works or not, but it had digital tuning, which was pretty solid. Yeah. I think it needs batteries. Maybe that'll be a thing for next week. Well, it doesn't have that. But yeah. Digital tuning, battery case. Batteries, Duracell. Well, can't last forever, can they? But yeah, that's funny that I actually had this handy. That's kind of bonkers. But yeah. That Walkman, or I think the one before that was just your basic Sony one. I wore out so many of those things. And yeah. So that was my setup in my car. I think the batteries that ran the little speakers were like C's, and they were it wasn't the greatest sound, but I really wanted a cassette deck, and my parents were not willing to pay for one for my 81 Caprice. And I'm not the sort of person you trust with anything involving electricity or wires or automotive or anything like that. I'm just making sure I know where this Haas is for later. Say hi, Haas. Hi, Haas. Alright. I'll put that there. So, yeah. So I bought that on the way there. Listen to some. Once you get to Webster, it's not that far to Waubay. It's a little town, a little bit bigger than Veblen, not much though. And that was a day that this is, you know, first girlfriends. I mean, school was canceled because the roads were icy, and yet I drove to Wabe to spend the afternoon with my girlfriend. You know, puppy love and all that. You know, she commented on one of my videos, so I don't know if she's watching these or not. Well, if she is, first of all, I'd like to apologize for a lot of the dumb things I did at the end of our relationship, and apologize for the dumb things I did in the immediate aftermath of our relationship, and basically just apologize for being a dumb boy. You know, I can look back at everything I did. It's like, you know, you're supposed to not live life with no regrets, but you look back at some of the decisions you made and how you behaved, and you're like, at the time you didn't know better, but you look back now and you just wish you could go back in time in the time machine and jump out in front of your old self and just smack the shit out of yourself. Like, dude. So yeah. But then again, it's the old, you know, the butterfly tapestry thing, you know? Not a tapestry of a butterfly. You pull one thread out of your past and it can change everything. And right now I'm very happy in a relationship with my current wife, and my only wife I'll ever have, Kate. So, you know, in the end it all worked out for me, and, you know, I think it worked out okay for her. I think. Last I checked, she got a bunch of great kids and a career, and yeah. So, you know, I don't know where I was going with that, other than to say I'm really, you know, sorry for being a dumbass all those years ago. Let's get back to Metallica. This was produced by, this is actually the last album that had a few songs co-written by former member Dave Mustaine. Of course, Ride the Lightning, you got your basic, this was, you know, not a lot of stuff there, just some thank yous and with the equipment they used and lyrics, and I dropped the case, I'll get that later. It's your basic Elektra job, but they've got the band logo. I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, band logo on the tape, actually. That's kind of cool. Some classics on here. Fight Fire with Fire, Ride the Lightning, the title track. I once played Ride the Lightning on our college radio station off of this very cassette tape, and I headbanged to that song so hard, I had to call my best friend Biffy to bring me some extra strength Tylenol because my head hurt. I probably gave myself some train damage, but it hasn't demented me fectally. But yeah, of course, For Whom the Bell Tolls, that's a classic now. Fade to Black. You know, we're going to skip track 5 for a moment. I'm going to get to you, track 5, if anybody from Metallica ever watches this. And there's no reason to think anybody from Metallica will ever watch this. But on the off chance they do, I've got some words for you about one of these songs. Escape, you know, Escape always seemed to me like it would be the great end credits for a movie. It never was. Creeping Death, that was alright. Call of Cthulhu, that was a good instrumental. Okay. Track 5. Track 1, side 2. You see that? Metallica was the first professional band to play a concert in Antarctica. Now, there had been live music in Antarctica before by scientists. They formed a little band, you know, in their spare time. But Metallica, you know, they were the first ones to actually be there and play a show. They played an hour in Antarctica. You know what they didn't play? Trapped Under Ice. They have a song about literally being trapped under ice. Pretty much all of Antarctica is trapped under ice. They don't play Trapped Under Ice. They didn't play it. That was not on the set list. I just saw their set list and it just seems so obvious. It's like, oh, of course they played Trapped Under Ice. They're the first band to play Antarctica, and they got a song called Trapped Under. They didn't play it! And I know that was almost like a decade ago. I am still angry at that band because they did not play Trapped Under Ice when they played Antarctica. If I suddenly was given the power to rule the world, one of the first things I'd do would be like, okay, you get your asses on a plane, and get your asses on a boat, and you play the song in Antarctica. Those penguins are going to like it. I don't know if the penguins will like it. Anyway, let's see if this little jobby I got in Webster South Dakota. Uh-oh. Whoops. Let's put it in the right way. I got it. The Webster, South Dakota Alco is still operative. That's not what we want. That's not what we come to Metallica for. That's what we come here for. Oh, yeah. That's some 80s Metallica right there. I don't want to get copyright claimed again. I got copyright claimed again for, what did I get copyright? Skid Row, Too Much Monkey Business. I actually played, I thought I played more of the Anthrax song, but they didn't copyright claim that. But they copyright claimed Monkey Business. So if you see a commercial for that, I am not getting any money from that. I guess Rachel Bolin and Snake Sabo are getting that money, I don't know. Or Atlantic Records, I don't know. So yeah, that was went a little long today. But I had a lot to get off my chest about an album I bought at the Alco in Webster, South Dakota. Which Alco is closed. I don't know what that building even is anymore. I haven't been to Webster in years. Actually, I was there like 2 or 3 years ago, but I forgot to look and see what that was. Either way, keep your stick not trapped under ice, and we'll talk again on Sunday.